Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Thank you very much for your kind association. Let us get started with our study of Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur Mahashaya's Jaiva Dharma. Let us begin with Mangalacharan prayers. Om Ajnanatirmirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshur Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin iti namine. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadādhara Shrivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So, dear devotees, let me share my screen. I hope all of you are able to see. This is Jaiva Dharma by Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, and we are going to study chapter 3. My gratitude to ISKCON Bhagavad Mahavidyalaya for giving us this opportunity to study Jaiva Dharma. So we saw how this particular chapter begins with Sannyasi Thakur, who has become Shri Vaishnav Das Babaji Maharaj, replying to this question of Lahiri Sahib. His question was that why are the pure Vaishnavas apparently, they appear to be opposed to nithya karma, eternal duties like Sandhya Vandana, chanting the Brahma Gayatri mantra 3 times a day, etc. Such dharma kriya, which appear to be nithya karma, why these things are not emphasized in the Vaishnava Dharma, or why Vaishnava Dharma doesn't give so much importance. And we have seen how Shri Vaishnav Das Babaji Maharaj, with the blessings of his Gurudev, Shri Premdas Paramahansa Babaji Maharaj, and with the blessings of all the assembled devotees, he begins speaking, and he begins by saying that Shri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the original personality of Godhead, being Krishna himself, and how he is Brahman, he is Paramatma, which are his expansions, and the Vedas come from Krishna to bestow mercy on all living entities. These Vedas contain Dharma Shastras like Manu Samhita, which establish the codes of behavior for mankind. Then Vaishnava Babaji Maharaj says human nature is divided into two types. The natural proclivity of human nature is of two types. There is the Vaidhi nature and there is the Raganuga nature. And Vaidhi nature is to follow the rules and regulations of Shastra. Raganuga nature is to follow the soul's spontaneous attraction towards Sri Krishna, following in the footsteps of the eternal residents of the spiritual world. But Sri Vaishnava Babaji Maharaj warns, as long as our intelligence is under the control of Maya, as long as we are attracted by Maya, it is better we are regulated by the rules and regulations, Vaidhi Marg. But when the intelligence becomes completely free from the influence of Maya, one naturally feels spontaneous attraction towards Krishna. And then the Raganuga tendency manifests. And it is this Raganuga tendency which is the natural nature of the Jiva. The Jiva has at present a strong relationship with this material world. But this relationship will be terminated when Krishna wills. But until that happens, we have a tendency towards material sense gratification. We have attachment to matter. But when one attains freedom from attachment to Maya, Vastuta Jada Mukti, then the Ragatmika Vritti, which is the mood of the Ragatmika Bhaktas. The Ragatmika Bhaktas are the eternal associates of Krishna and Radharani in Golok Vrindavan. Then that Ragatmika Vritti is awakened in the pure Jiva. And in terms of the internal spiritual identity, the Swarup, and also the constitutional state, Vastu. This Ragatmika Vritti awakens. This Ragatmika Pravritti is the nature of the residents of Vraj. And it is not to be found in this world. Only by Sadhu Sangha we can get it. As long as this Vastuta Jada Mukti is not there, the human intelligence is spontaneously attached to mundane objects. And we see that, how we are spontaneously attached to our body, spontaneously attached to our family members, spontaneously attached to our possessions, spontaneously attached to sense gratification. Anyone who facilitates our sense gratification, we love them, we reciprocate with them, we want to be with them. Anyone who hurts us, hurts our false ego, doesn't facilitate our sense enjoyment, we keep a distance from them. But a pure devotee has no enemies and no friends in this world. So as long as we don't have Vasuda Jada Mukti, we will be attached to material objects. As long as we are attached to material objects, we will never develop attachment for spiritual objects. The conceptions of ahamta and mamata are very prominent in the mundane world. We are attached to our body and we are attached to everything and everyone that gives pleasure or has a relationship with this body. Whether it is our country, society, religion, relatives, friends, family members, we have a certain mamata towards them. And for our body, we have ahamta. I am this body. Due to these false conceptions of ahamta and mamata, one naturally feels attracted to material things and people in this material world. When the bewildered jiva falls under the sway of such attachment and aversion for things or people who create disturbance in our sense gratification, and attachment to those who give us pleasure. When someone dies and we have to eulogize them or we have to cry, when you ask someone, why are you crying, who died? Naturally they will say, oh, such and such person died, he was so nice, he always took care of me, he was always very polite to me, he always supported me, he helped me when I was a child. So we'll remember things about the person which gave us sense gratification, which gave us pleasure. This is called ahamta. when the bewildered jiva falls under the sway, under the control of such raga dvesh, attachment and aversion, he considers others to be friends and enemies, and displays love for the friends, hatred for the enemies. This is sharirik attachment. Then there is samajik attachment, society. And there is naitik. We have certain attachment to certain religious codes, certain ethics. No, we should do. Democracy is good. No, this work ethic is best. No, this capitalism is better. We have certain these ideas, naitik ideas about morality and ethics, and we are attached to that. People have debates and arguments. People wage wars over these ideological differences. And thus the struggle for material existence continues. Also, there are the false attachments to things that give pleasure to the body. And these are called Kanaka, Kamini, and Pratishtha. This is called samsara, a world where we are attached to Kanaka, Kamini, Kirti. Money, attractive partners for satisfaction of our lusty desires, and appreciation, respect. And in this way, we remain in the samsara, which is hallmark is Janma, Mrityu, Jara, Vyadhi, birth, old age, and death, disease and death. The jivas who are bound in this way, in samsara, they cannot comprehend, understand spiritual attachment. What is Chid Anurag? We are Chid Vastu, Anu Chid Vastu. But we don't have Chid Anurag, because our Chid Anurag is covered by Jada Anurag, attachment for material things. But our true function, the Swadharma of the Jiva, is attachment to Krishna. Jiva Swarupa Krishna Ranatyamas. But forgetting this, we remain entangled in samsara. In this way, our natural nature, which is Raganuga nature, remains hidden. But Bhagavan, Shri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, is all-knowing. He is very merciful. And therefore, he gives us Shastra and he gives us sadhus. By the association of sadhus, the jiva will be able to understand that I am a servant of Krishna. I am not supposed to be the enjoyer. Otherwise, the whole teaching, whole philosophy of this world is we are enjoyers. But still, because there is no prescribed injunction that one must associate with sadhus, people don't take it very seriously. And therefore, there is no real auspiciousness for people in general, unless they follow the rules and regulations, Vidhi Marg. So Vidhi Marg is very important. Even though one may not get association of Rasik Vaishnavas, from Shastra, we can hear some do's and don'ts and we follow. At least we are on the Vidhi Marg. Or from some family, Pujari, Pandit, they will tell us, don't eat meat in Shravan Maas. You should follow at least Ashadi Ekadashi. That's something they will give. The Shastras are manifested from this merciful consideration of Bhagavan Shri Krishna. That jivas are bound in this material world, and therefore the Shastras have come from the merciful heart of Krishna to help us. Initially we give Vidhi Marg, and when we follow Vidhi Marg properly, we enter Rag Marg. Now, Shri Vaishnav Das Babaji Maharaj is telling Shri Lahiri Sahib that there are different divisions in the Vedas. One part is the Veda Shastra teaching pious activities. You do pious activities, you get good results. That's karma, karma kanda. One teaches, forget this world, forget doing punya in this world, forget enjoying in this world, forget the comforts and luxuries and security of this world. It's actually all false. Just get liberated. That is scriptures aiming at liberation, Jnana Marg. Another part teaches devotion. With love and affection, we worship Bhagavan Krishna, and that is called Bhakti Marg. So in the Vedas, Karma Kand is described, Jnana Kand is described, and Bhakti Yoga is described. Now, jivas are attracted by Maya to varying degrees, and the different divisions of the Shastras, they cater to the mentalities of jivas of different eligibility. This eligibility is called Adhikar. there are three types of adhikar. There is karma adhikar, where someone has punya karma only up to a level where they can deal with karma kand. Just like a second grader has certain capacity to understand subjects. If you give statistics and trigonometry and calculus to a second grader, that child will not be able to understand generally because their intelligence is not that developed. They only have second grade adhikar. Similarly, some jivas, based on their previous karma, based on their association with the modes of material nature, they only have karma adhikar, where they can do some pious activities mentioned in the scripture to go to Swargalok and slowly continue their spiritual advancement. Some have more Purva Sanchit Punya Karma and they have Jnana Adhikar. Jnana Adhikar means transcendental knowledge, understanding that I am a spirit soul. What is this spiritual soul, Chid Anu Vastu, going to do by going to heaven, going to do by gaining wealth, by gaining respect, property, adoration, beautiful husband or wife. What is this spiritual soul going to do? This is called Jnana. Through Sankhya Jnana, we can analytically understand things. What is matter? What is spirit? Understand, oh, I am spirit. Then why am I hankering after matter? And in this way, try for liberation. They have Jnana Adhikar. And the third adhikar is Prema Adhikar, where someone has good pious credits, a good nature, good tendencies, where the person is interested in loving God. They have Prema Adhikar. They have eligibility to enter unalloyed loving service to Bhagavan Krishna. In this way, the Vedic Shastras, the Vedas, have something to offer to all the three types of people. Those who have Karma Adhikar, those who have Jnana Adhikar, and those who have Bhakti Adhikar. Everything is there. And this is called Vaidya Dharma. The tendency by which a person is compelled to adopt this Vaidya Dharma is known as Vaidhi Pravritti, or the tendency, the proclivity to follow the religious codes of the Shastras, follow Dharma Shastra. That tendency is called Vaidhi Pravritti. Not everybody will have it. Many people are atheists. Many people just want to work, be good citizens, earn money, enjoy in this world, live a happy life, get married, have children, have family, grow old, take care of your health, enjoy, and then die. They don't have Vaidhi Pravritti. They don't have tendency to practice Dharma. But some pious people, they want to enjoy, but they want to enjoy according to Dharma. So they have called Vaidhi Pravritti. Now, those who are opposed to the injunctions of the Shastra, they are thoroughly avaid. They don't have Vaidhi Pravritti. They don't want to follow any scriptures. They do not want to follow Dharma Shastras. They are called avaid. They are engaged in sinful activities. And their lives are dedicated to avaid karma. Vaidhi Pravritti means to do according to the Vidhi of the Shastra. Avaid karma means they do activities that are against the scriptures. They defy the rules and regulations of Shastra. Such people are excluded from the jurisdiction of the Vedas. They are not even within the Varnashram system. They are called Mlecchas. What is the definition of Mleccha? The definition of Mleccha is a person who does not have Vaidhi Pravritti, who does not want to do pious activity mentioned in the Shastra in order to earn their wealth. They are like criminals. In a country, we have to go to a university, get a degree, get a job, or start a business, pay our taxes, follow the rules and regulations of the government, follow the law of the land, and earn money by honest means. But there are people who want to earn money by illegal means. Whatever it may be. They may be doing extortion, or they may be kidnapping people, or they may be selling drugs, illegal drugs on the streets. They may be stealing, they may be robbing people, or they may do some scam. So this is called illegal earning. Similarly, in Krishna's jurisdiction, this whole world is under Krishna's jurisdiction, and Krishna has created some laws which are there in Bhagavad Gita and our Shastras. And those who are avaid, those who do not even have a Vaidhi pravritti, they live in this world and they enjoy by doing activities which are against the word of Krishna. They are called mlechas. They are uncivilized. They are not Aryans. Aryan is a person who follows the Vedic culture. So the avaid karma people who do avaid karma, they are outside the varnashram. They are performing sinful activities. They defy the Shastra. They are outside the varnashram. They are called mlechas. Now, what about those who have Vaidhi pravritti? The duties of those who have Vaidhi pravritti, which is of three types. There is karma adhikar, jnana adhikar, and prem adhikar. Three eligibility groups outlined in the Vedas have been described still more elaborately in the Samhita Shastra of the Rishis. The Rishis, they have described in detail the duties of those who have these three types of adhikars. Now, those who have karma adhikar, for them there are the Dharma Shastras. For example, Manu Samhita. Then those who have jnana adhikar, they have the Sankhya philosophy. They have the Sankhya philosophy, which will teach them logic and help them progress on the path of Aham Brahmasmi, liberation, understanding that I am spiritual, not material. So they detach themselves from this matter and enter the spiritual Brahmajyoti. And finally, there are Shastras like Srimad Bhagavatam, like Narad Bhakti Sutra, like Gopal Tapani Upanishad, and many more, which are meant, these Shastras, these scriptures are meant for people who have Bhakti Adhikar, Prem Adhikar. And they teach about the Prem Dharma, how to love Krishna, Bhajatam Priti Purvakam. Now, all these literatures that talk about Dharma Shastra for those who have Karma Adhikar, those that talk about Sankhya philosophy for those who have Jnana Adhikar, and Shastras like Srimad Bhagavatam, Narad Bhakti Sutra, etc., which are meant for people with Prema Adhikar. All these three types of scriptures are called Veda. They're all part of the Vedic literature. So if we criticize any of them, we are committing Namaprad. It is Shruti Shastra Nindanam. So we should not criticize these different branches of Vedas. Now, modern day pseudo-philosophers of these Shastras, I think this is where we are supposed to start today. Or maybe a few slides down, I don't know. Many modern day pseudo-philosophers of these Shastras, now please pay attention, what people have done, some pseudo-philosophers of modern day, what they have done, without understanding this whole picture that we just discussed, how the jivas are baddha in this world, how we are suffering in this world with Janam, Mrityu, Jara, Vyadhi, how Krishna is all merciful, how we don't get sadhu sangha, how Krishna sends the sadhus, how Krishna sends the shastras for us, and depending our nature based on what we have acquired from the three modes of material nature, we have either we are avaid or we have vaidhi pravritti, which is of three types: jnanadhikar, karmadhikar, and premadhikar. There are different shastras which are all part of the Vedas. Now, without understanding this big picture, what people do is they study one particular type of branch of Shastra, one particular branch of the Vedas, and they try to establish the superiority of that one limb of the Vedas. No, I have read Yoga Vasishtha, and Yoga Vasishtha is the best book. No, I have read Chandogya Upanishad, and there is no scripture like Chandogya Upanishad. So without understanding the overall picture, what purpose, which limb of Vedas is serving, they just try to establish the superiority of the limb of Veda that they have studied. This has cast innumerable people into a pit of argument and doubt. That's why there is confusion and fighting among the followers of Sanatana Dharma. Now, Bhagavad Gita is a matchless Shastra. Why? Because it is spoken by Bhagavan himself, the highest authority. And in Bhagavad Gita, it is clearly said in the 12th chapter that Karma is good. If someone cannot do anything, then do karma. But better than karma is to develop jnana, transcendental knowledge. That is better. And if we perform karma without jnana, it is just atheism. Because jnana means we are spiritual. There is a spiritual Param Brahma. We are Atma. That is called jnana. Karma should be done with jnana, with knowledge, transcendental knowledge. If that is not there, then simply karma to get the paycheck and to enjoy, it is atheistic. Should be rejected. Karma yoga and jnana yoga that are not directed towards bhakti are also cheating processes. Kaita dharma, as Srimad Bhagavatam describes in the second verse itself. Because jnana yoga also should lead to bhakti. Bahunam janmanam ante jnanavan mam prapadyate, Krishna says. So that surrender to Krishna should be a natural culmination of jnana yoga. If that is not happening, it is cheating religion. So everything is a ladder going towards bhakti. Bhakti is the ultimate. Because aim of life is to understand Krishna. Janma karma chame divyam evam yo vekti tattvataha tyaktva deham punarjanma naiti mameti swarjuna. Purpose of Vedic study is to understand Krishna. And Krishna says, bhaktya mam abhijanati. Only by bhakti Krishna can be known. Understand? Therefore, bhakti is the culmination. And any process of yoga that does not direct us towards bhakti is a cheating process. So actually, karma means to do karma for Krishna. Mat karma kren. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita. Work for Krishna. Jnana yoga means we have to get knowledge of Krishna. Because Krishna says, Bahunam Jarmanam ante jnanavan mam prapadyate. And bhakti is very dear to Krishna. Samay bhakta priya. 12th chapter, repeatedly Krishna says, Yoma bhakta samay priya. Bhakta is very dear to Krishna. So everything should culminate in bhakti. This is the Vedic Vaishnava Siddhanta conclusion. Now the jiva who is bewildered by Maya is first compelled to adopt the path of karma. A baddha jiva, conditioned soul in this world, may first be attracted to the path of karma when they are getting slowly vaidhi pravritti. Then he must adopt karma yoga. First they want to do karma kanda. Better than karma kanda is karma yoga because it is working for Krishna. Followed by jnana yoga and finally bhakti yoga. These are the different rungs of the ladder. Karma yoga, then jnana yoga, then bhakti yoga. However, if the conditioned soul is not shown that all these are but different steps on the same one staircase of spiritual advancement, the conditioned jiva cannot ascend to the temple of bhakti. This ladder takes us to the temple of bhakti. We cannot go there unless these different steps are shown to us. What does it mean to adopt the path of karma? Karma consists of activities that one performs with the body or mind in the course of maintaining one's life. This is the definition of karma. Please note down. Karma consists of performing activities with the body or with the mind. It doesn't have to be just body. It can be activities with the mind also. It is also karma. Karma means to do activities with the body or the mind in the course of maintaining one's life, in the course of surviving in this world. There are two types of karma. So karma means activities performed with the body and mind as we live in this world to maintain one's life. There are two types of karma. There is shubha karma and there is ashubha karma. Auspicious activities and inauspicious activities. Please listen carefully. The result the jiva obtains by performing shubha karma, auspicious activities, the result is auspicious, naturally. You're doing auspicious activity, the result will be auspicious. Whereas the results obtained by performing ashubha karma, the result is inauspicious. We do shubha karma, the effect will be shubha. If we do ashubha karma, the result will be ashubha, inauspicious. Ashubha karma is also known as papa, sins, or vikarma, which are prohibited activities. That is called ashubha karma. What do you call someone who doesn't perform any work? Non-performance of shubha karma is known as akarma. Now, there are two types of akarma. One is akarma that mentioned in Bhagavad Gita, where it is explained that we do activities that are for Krishna, and therefore it has no material effect in the karmic account because it is being done for Krishna. It is counted as bhakti. That is one type of akarma. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur is not talking about that akarma here. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur is saying akarma means to simply not do karma, to be passive. That is called akarma. And now it is not the nature of the soul to be passive. Therefore, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur is saying akarma is bad. For some time, we may be able to maintain akarma, but eventually, because the nature of the soul is to be active, because the nature of the soul is to seek happiness, and to get happiness, we have to do something. So the soul cannot be inactive for long. So akarma is not sustainable. Akarma will ultimately make us fall down on the plane of vikarma. Therefore, akarma is bad. And of course, vikarma, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, is also bad. Both vikarma and akarma are bad because they are both ashubh karma. Both are not good. Whereas shubh karma, auspicious activity that yields auspicious results, is good. Okay? So, one who is little civilized, one who has at least some vaidhi pravritti, one who is not a mlecha, will have tendency to come to the path of karma. Karma consists of performing activities with the body and mind to maintain one's life. There are two types of such karma, shubh karma and ashubh. Okay. Now, there are three subdivisions of shubh karma. Please listen carefully. Remember what the question was. The question was about Sandhya Vandan, Brahma Gayatri, Japa, and the different nithya karma activities of a Brahmana. Why Vaishnavas don't give much importance to this? That was the question. So we are getting there now. Okay. So pay attention. There are three types of shubh karma. There are obligatory daily rites called nithya karma, which was the question of Lahiri Sahib, why you don't do nithya karma. So one is obligatory daily rites called nithya karma. Second is circumstantial duties, naimittik karma, and ceremonies performed out of desire for personal profit called kamya karma. So shubh karma, vikarma means to do things that are against dharma, like murdering somebody, drinking alcohol, eating meat, intoxicating, having illicit sex. So that we are not talking about. That is vikarma. It is bad. Akarma is not sustainable. One cannot remain passive, not doing anything. It's not possible. It's not practical. So akarma and vikarma are both rejected. Now shubh karma is of three types: nithya karma, naimittik karma, and kamya karma. Kamya karma means to do any activity for self-interest. We have some kamana. We have some personal desire, personal motive. That's why we are doing it. That's called kamya karma. And Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur says that kamya karma is completely self-interested, it is selfish, and therefore it should also be rejected. So we rejected akarma because it is not sustainable, it is not practical, it's not reasonable. We rejected vikarma because it is a ashubh karma, it leads to hell, and it is against the injunctions of Shastra. So that is rejected. Now shubh karma has three types: nithya shubh karma, naimittik shubh karma, and kamya shubha karma. Now, kamya shubha karma may be shubha karma. We may be doing some pious activity, but it is completely self-interested. It is completely for self-interest, completely selfish motive. Therefore, Shri Vaishnava Das Babaji Maharaj is advising us that we should give up kamya karma. That leaves us with two karmas, nithya karma, naimittik karma. The Shastra directs us to adopt nithya karma and naimittik karma. The Shastra have considered what is fit to be taken up and what is fit to be rejected or abandoned. And they have classified nithya karma, naimittik karma, and kamya karma as karma. They are all karma, whereas akarma and vikarma or kukarma have not been included in this category. That we already saw. Although kamya karma is counted as shubha karma or karma, it is undesirable. And it should be given up. This also we are repeating just for emphasis. Kamya karma should be given up. That leaves us only nithya karma and naimittik karma. They can be truly accepted as shubha karma. So there are two types of shubha karma that are relevant to us. nithya karma and naimittik karma. Now, what is nithya karma and what is naimittik shubha karma? Nithya shubha karma is karma or activities that produces auspiciousness for the body, auspiciousness for the mind, and auspiciousness for the society. And it results in promotion to the higher planets after death. That is called as nithya karma. Everyone is obligated to perform nithya karma, such as chanting the Brahma Gayatri mantra at the 3 junctures of the day, Sandhya Vandana. Offering prayers, there are different prayers that we offer. Using honest means to maintain one's livelihood, taking up honest jobs, like working as a teacher, working honestly. There are jobs, doing agriculture, the noble professions to earn money. So doing that, earning money by honest means, behaving truthfully, speaking the truth, caring for one's family members and dependents. This is very important. Caring for one's old parents, taking care of children, taking care of one's spouse. This is very important. Taking care of one's friends who are depending on us. So helping others, being a good citizen, these are all nithya shubha karma. Today morning we were reading in Srimad Bhagavatam that if you give charity to an unqualified Brahman, if you give $100 in your next life, you will get $100 back. It's there in Srimad Bhagavatam. We were reading 15th chapter of the 7th canto. In the purport, Srila Prabhupada is quoting from the Vedic literature. Prabhupada is quoting from the Vedic Shastras. If you give charity to an unqualified person, that same amount of money will come back to you in your next life. If you give it to a qualified Brahman, then it gets multiplied many times and you get much more. You give $100 in your next life, you will get $10,000 back. But if you give it to a Vaishnava, who is personification of the Vedas, if you give it to a living Bhagavat, you give it to the Bhakta Bhagavat, then unlimited results will come to you in your next life from such charity. So therefore, all these are called nithya shubha karma. Giving charity, offering prayers, doing puja, doing sandhya vandana, speaking the truth, taking care of family members. Now, what is naimittik shubha karma? Naimittik shubha karma is karma or activity that we carry out under certain circumstances, on certain occasions. For example, performing rites for the departed soul, doing antyeshti kriya, doing shraddha, some sin has happened accidentally, you step on a frog in the rainy season and the frog gets crushed to death. So, we perform sins unknowingly. So doing some puja to atone for the sin, doing some fasting to atone for the sin. These are all naimittik karma. You do it on certain occasions. Everybody's with me? Nithya shubha karma and naimittik shubha karma. Nithya shubha karma means sandhya vandan, offering prayers, doing our duty truthfully, honestly, not taking bribe, not earning money by illegal means, behaving nicely, taking care of family. Nithya shubha karma. Naimittik shubha karma means things that we do on some occasions in our life, like antyeshti kriya when someone dies, shraddha ceremony on the anniversary of their death. Some sin has happened, atoning for that sin, doing some puja for that, doing some fasting for that, vrat for that. So that is all naimittik shubha karma. Now, the authors of the Shastras, like Manu Maharaj, etc., first examine the natures of human beings and their natural eligibility traits, the adhikar, the gun, karma of human beings, and then establish varnashram dharma. Chaturvarnam maya srishtam guna karma vibhagasha. Their intention was to prescribe a system in which nithya karma and naimittik karma, which are both shubha karma, could be carried out in an excellent way in this world. So they examined the natures of people. The gist of this arrangement of varnashram dharma is that there are 4 natural types of human beings, classified to work according to their eligibility, their nature, guna karma vibhagasha. 4 types. Brahman, who are the teachers and priests. They do puja, they teach. Kshatriyas, they are the warriors, soldiers, administrators. Vaishyas, they do agriculture, cow protection, trade, business. And Shudras, they are artisans, they are laborers, they will make pots, they will clean the road, they are janitors, workers in the field, construction workers, all those things. They are Shudras. There are 4 types of tendencies of people. People are also situated in 4 orders of life or stages of life. Spiritual division, that is social division. Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. That is social division. But then there is ashrams, which are spiritual. Brahmacharya ashram, student life, unmarried. You remain celibate and you study the Vedas. That is Brahmacharya life. Then you graduate to Grahastha ashram, where you get married and you apply those teachings that you learned in the student life, in the Brahmacharya. You apply them. Whatever you have learned, you live as an honest Grihastha, following those principles that you learned in the Vedas. Then you become detached from family life after performing your duty, after serving the Brahmacharis, Vanaprasthis and Sannyasis. You retire from Grihastha life and you become a Vanaprastha. Get detached. Go deeper now in your bhakti for Krishna. And finally, you renounce everything and you take sannyas. So in this way, there are 4 social orders and 4 spiritual orders. Those who are fond of akarma and vikarma. Vikarma means sinful activity, ashubh karma. And akarma means just laziness, not doing anything. They are called antyaja, outcast. They are not situated in any ashram. We saw that. They are not even in the varnashram. They are called mlechas or antyajas, outcasts. The system of varna and ashram is the basis of Vaidha Dharma. It is the basis of Vaidha Jivan. How to live our life based on the properly engaged Vaidhi pravritti. We have a pravritti to have faith in Shastra, faith in God. So then how to engage that? Through varnashram, systematically. You slowly progress. So this is called Vaidha Jivan, varnashram. The prominence of impiety in a country is measured by the extent to which varnashram system is absent there. I would like you all to note down this point. Very important. Now there are many countries. There is India and there are many other countries. How do we know whether this country is pious, whether this country is well situated or not? In any country, to the degree this varnashram dharma is not there, to that degree that country is degraded and it is impious. To the degree in any country there is implementation of varnashram dharma, where the sannyasis are respected the most, socially the brahmanas are guiding, they are doing puja, they are teaching from the shastra, the kshatriyas are protecting the society, they are the rulers, the vaishyas are creating economic development, they have trade, commerce, they are protecting the cows, they are growing nice crops, fruits, vegetables, so the society can eat healthy food. They don't have to eat processed food. And then there are the Shudras who are assisting the Vaishyas, assisting the Kshatriyas, assisting the Brahmins. To the degree this is there, to the degree people are studying the Vedas as Brahmacharis, and they are applying those teachings that they learned as students in the 25 years of Grihastha ashram, from 25 to 50 years of age. To the extent there are Vanaprasthis who retire and go deeper in their bhajan, and to the extent there are sannyasis whose only aim in life is samsiddhir haritoshanam. To that degree a country is pious. And to the degree there is absence of this varnashram dharma in any country or locality or kingdom, to that degree, that country, that place is impious. Now we have to see which place is pious, which place is impious. Hare Krishna. Now let us consider in what sense the words nithya and naimittik have been used in relation to the word karma. We said nithya shubha karma, naimittik shubha karma, correct? Examples of nithya shubha karma is chanting the Brahma Gayatri 3 times a day, performing different pujas, chanting different Vedic mantras, working honest job, taking care of family members, taking care of dependents. This is called nithya shubha karma. And naimittik shubha karma is shraddha ceremony, antyeshti kriya, atoning for sins. This is naimittik shubha karma. So Srila Vaishnav Babaji Maharaj is telling us, now let us consider in what sense these words nithya and naimittik have been used. If we consider the profound purport of the Shastras, we can see that these two words have not been used here to refer to karma in a paramarthic sense. It is mentioned in a Laukik sense, not in a paralaukic sense. It is mentioned, this nithya and naimittic words have been used in a material sense, vyavaharik sense, not paramarthik sense, not from the spiritual standpoint. Srila Vaishnava Das Babaji Maharaj is saying. Please try to understand this, my dear friends. These two words, nithya and naimittik, in relationship to Shubha Karma, have been used not in the paramarthik sense, in relation to the supreme spiritual truth. No. Rather, they have been used as a routine, vyavaharik, figurative, aupcharik sense. Okay? Why? Because, properly speaking, words like nithya dharma, nithya karma, nithya tattva can only be used to describe pure spiritual condition of the jiva. Ajo nitya shashvato yam purano na hanyate hanyamane sharira. See, Krishna using it to describe the jiva. So nitya dharma, nitya karma, nitya tattva, these can be used only in connection to the pure spiritual jiva, who is beyond time and space. Therefore, in the general use of the word nitya karma, the word nitya is applied to the word karma only in a figurative or attributive sense, because karma in this world is a means to an end and only remotely indicates eternal truth. Karma in this world itself is temporary. So how can we say nitya karma in this world? This world itself is temporary. Understand? So it is used in a figurative way. Now, last time in the last Jaiva Dharma discussion, somebody had asked this question, and I had said that this will be explained later on in the chapter. So this is the explanation. That when we say nitya dharma, nitya karma, nitya tattva, in relationship to these duties within Varnashram, it is not in the paramarthik sense, it is in the aupcharik sense, in the laukik sense. It's just a routine parlance that we use. It's a way, it's the limitation of language. So it's in a figurative way, not in a factual way. Because karma in this world itself is a means to an end. Yahan pe karma karo, bhagavad prapti karo. Mat karma krin. Yat karoshi, tat kurusha madarpanam. What will happen? We'll go to Krishna, ultimately. So karma in this world itself is not the end. It is the means to an end in the other world, in the spiritual world. Therefore, when we are using the words nitya dharma here, it is in a figurative way, not in a paramarthik spiritual sense. Actually, nitya can only be used for spiritual things, but we are just using it because that's the limitation of language. Language is ultimately material. Actually, karma is never eternal. Hare Krishna. We have learned this in Bhagavad Gita. 5 topics of Bhagavad Gita: karma, Bhagwan, Jeev, Kal, and Prakriti. Prakriti changes, but it is eternal. Kal is cyclical, but it is eternal. Because both are Krishna Shakti. Kal is also Krishna Shakti. Krishna says, Kalosmi, I am Kal. And this Prakriti also is Krishna. Bhina Prakriti Ashtada is Krishna's separated energy. Mama Maya. So, Maya Dhakshana Prakriti, Sueda Sacharacharam. So, Prakriti also belongs to Krishna. So, Prakriti changes, but it's eternal. Time also keeps going in circles. Satya, Treta, Dwapar, Kali, Satya, Treta, Dwapar, Kali, Bhutva, Bhutva, Praliyate. Again and again there is creation, destruction. It's cyclical time, but time is eternal. Because time is Krishna's energy and this material world is also Krishna's energy. So both are eternal. Krishna is eternal, Jiva is eternal. So out of 5 topics, 4 topics are eternal. Karma is the only topic which is temporary. Because Sarva Dharman Parityajya Mamekam Sharanam Vraja Aham Tvam Sarvapapebhyo Moksheshrami Vasucha. Karmani Nirdhati Bhakti Bhaja. Brahma Samhita also says that all karma is destroyed by bhakti. So, by understanding Krishna's activities, our activities in this world come to an end. Janma karma karma chame divyam evam yo vehti tatvada tyaktva deham punar janma naiti mahamati swarjam. By understanding Krishna karma, our karma in this world comes to an end. In Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says. So actually karma is in this world is never eternal. It is not eternal. Karma and jnana may only be thought of as nitya in an indirect sense, when karma is directed towards jnana by means of karma yoga, and when jnana is directed towards bhakti. We saw how karma, jnana, bhakti. It's a progressive path. So the word nitya is used in a figurative way, not in actual way. Now, the Brahmanas chanting of the Brahma Gayatri mantra or the Sandhya Vandan is sometimes described as nitya karma. That was the question of Lahiri Sahib, that why you Vaishnavas don't give so much importance to the nitya karma of a Brahman, like Sandhya Vandan, different puja, this, that. Why? It is called as nitya karma. So this is valid in the sense that practices that are remotely directed towards bhakti through physical activities may be termed nitya, but only because they aim at the actual nitya dharma. In reality, they are not nitya. So all these things that we do, doing puja, doing Sandhya, Vandan, they are somehow directing us towards bhakti to Bhagavan. So they may be called nitya, that we do it nitya every day. But in reality, they are not nitya. The usage of the word nitya is in an aupcharik way, figurative way, not in a factual way. Sandhya Vandan and all those things, they are called nitya karma. Or we should do regularly, we should do charity. That's maybe called as nitya karma. But actually, that is just in an aupcharik sense, not in a true sense. Now, actually, the only true nitya karma for the jiva is Krishna prem, because that is the swarup of the jiva. Jiva is swarup hai, Krishna is nitya das. So what is the true nitya karma? It is Krishna prem. Shama Kishori Mataji, when you go to Golok Vrindavan, will you do Sandhya Vandan 3 times? Is it part of the Ashtakali Leela? No. That's why it is Naimittik. It is not Nitya. Okay, I was just seeing. Sab so gaye kya? Hare Krishna. Okay. So, actually, the only true Nitya karma of the jiva is Krishna prem. In ontological terms, this true nitya karma is referred to as unalloyed spiritual cultivation. Vishuddha Chid Anushilan. Vishuddha Chid Anushilan. Pure spiritual cultivation. Unalloyed. Unalloyed means unmixed. Or activities directed towards reinstating one's pure transcendental consciousness. What is our pure transcendental consciousness? It is Krishna consciousness. So what is nitya karma? Truly, in the actual way, in the ontological terms, true nitya karma is that which is directed towards reinstating our pure Krishna consciousness. Activities that are eternally going on in Golok Vrindavan, those are truly nitya karma. Golokera prema dhana harinama sankirtana. Those things. The physical activities that one will naturally have to adopt to attain this chid anushilan are assistants to nitya karma. Now, physical activities we do in this world that help us attain this vishuddha chid anushilan, unalloyed spiritual cultivation. So they are assistants to the nitya karma. So there is no fault in calling them nitya karma. If doing Brahma Gayatri is going to somehow help us get to the spiritual world, it is pointing in that direction of bhakti. So therefore, although it is not truly a nitya karma, performing Shraddha is not a nitya karma. Are we going to perform Shraddha in Golok? Nobody dies there. Are we going to perform Antyeshti Kriya in Golok Vrindavan? No, nobody dies there. So these are not purely spiritual activities. These are not eternal activities. Truly they are not nitya, but still they are called nitya karma. Why? Because we may say Ram Naam Satya Hai, Ram Naam Satya Hai in the Antyeshti Kriya. And that is helping us progress towards bhakti. So there is no fault in referring to them as nitya karma. Why? Because they are assisting the true nitya karma. From the absolute perspective though, it would be better to refer to such activities like Antyeshti Kriya, Shraddha, Gayatri, Sandhya Vandan, chanting different prayers, atoning for sins by doing different puja and vrat. It is better to refer to such activities as naimittik rather than nitya. Hare Krishna. Because they are truly not nitya. Nitya means something that is going on eternally in the spiritual realm also. The divisions of karma into nithya and naimittic are only from a relative viewpoint and not from the absolute spiritual perspective, because karma itself is temporary. So nithya karma, the word ontologically is wrong. You saw 5 subjects of Bhagavad Gita. Karma is one of them, and karma is the only one that is temporary. So therefore, the divisions of karma into nithya shubha karma, naimittik shubha karma are only from a relative viewpoint, not from the absolute spiritual perspective. From the point, we are almost done, just 3-4 more pages. From the point of view of the essential nature of things, the nithya dharma of the jivas is unalloyed spiritual practice. What is the nithya dharma of the jiva? Unalloyed spiritual practice. Vishuddha chid anushila. And all other types of dharma are naimittik. Anything that is anukulyana krishna anushilanam bhakti uttama, anything other than uttama bhakti is naimittik. This applies to varnashram dharma also. Whole varnashram dharma is naimittik. Is there varnashram dharma, Satyarpa Mataji? Is there varnashram dharma in Golok Vrindavan?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Huh?
In Golok Vrindavan, no, Prabhuji. Sorry.
No, the varnashram dharma that we have in this world.
No, Prabhuji.
It's not like that. There, naham vipro nachanarapatir napi vaishya na shudro. So it's not there like that, the way we know it here. Therefore, it is naimittik. So Prabhupada taught us a different varnashram dharma. What is that? Daivi varnashram. Daivi varnashram dharma. That is eternal. That has Krishna in the center. So from the point of view of the actual nature of things, nithya dharma of the jiva is prema pumartamahan. It is vishuddha chid anushilan, pure unalloyed spiritual practices. And all other types of dharma, they are all naimittik. This applies to varnashram dharma, duties prescribed for castes and orders of human civilization. Why? Because varnashram dharma is meant to elevate people to the stage of Krishna prema. But in Golok Vrindavan, people are already on the level of Krishna prema. So this gradual purificatory process is called varnashram. They are not required. Similarly, Ashtanga Yoga, the 8-fold yoga system. So Archana Mataji, do we practice Ashtanga Yoga in Golok Vrindavan?
No problem.
Nobody cares for siddhis. Nobody cares for, developing good health through yogasana. And nobody wants Paramatma realization. Because they are already Bhagwan realized. Bhagwan is playing with them every day. Why you want to meditate on the 4-armed Lord when you have your 2-armed Sham Sundar playing with you? So like that. So no varnashram dharma in Golok Vrindavan. It is not nithya. No Ashtanga Yoga. That is also not nithya. What about Sankhya Yoga, Sankhya Jnana, where we analyze, is this material, is this spiritual, is this material? Aishwarya Mataji, do we need Sankhya philosophy in Golok Vrindavan? No, we don't. There is no matter. Everything is spiritual there. So we don't need it. So that is also temporary. We don't need to do analytical research of matter and spirit in spiritual world. Everything is spirit there. And what about tapasya, asceticism, to purify oneself? Not required in Golok Vrindavan. Bhagavati Vasudha Mataji, do we need to do tapasya in Golok Vrindavan? No. The spiritual world, no. We don't need to, because tapasya is meant to purify, and there everybody, tapo divyam putra kayana shuddha. To purify oneself, we do tapasya. But there everybody is already pure. Everybody is made up of vishuddha sattva in spiritual world. So therefore, my dear friends, practice of varnashram dharma for gradually elevating people through the 4 varnas and 4 ashrams, Ashtanga Yoga, Sankhya Yoga, which includes Jnana Yoga, Sankhya, Jnana Yoga, and Tapasya. These are all naimittik dharma, because the jiva would not need these dharmas if the jiva was not bound. Everybody got this? If the jiva was not conditioned, jiva was not bound, we will not need any of these. So they are not nithya. They are all naimittic. Can someone explain why they are naimittic? Abhinav, Paknikar, Prabhuji or Mataji. Why they are naimittic? It's coming in the next slide. Don't worry. It's coming in the next slide. Why they are naimittic. So, here it is said, these are all naimittic dharmas, all these things. Varnashram dharma, Ashtanga yoga, Sankhya, Jnana, Tapasya. They are all naimittic. Why? These are all naimittic dharma because the jiva would not need these dharmas if the jiva were not bound. Ab dekho. The conditioned state of being bewildered by Maya is itself a nimitta. It is itself a circumstantial cause. And the function or duty that is prompted by the circumstantial cause, a nimitta, is known as naimittic dharma. Oh, now we are bound, so now let me do activities to purify myself. You see? So how can that be eternal? Because you are doing it for a nimitta. The nimitta is that you are conditioned by Maya, and therefore you have to do them. So all these processes that we do for gradual elevation, these are not required in the spiritual world because there we are not baddha. And being baddha is itself a circumstantial cause, nimitta, to prompt the performance of all these functions. Therefore, they are all naimittic. Therefore, from the perspective of the absolute spiritual standpoint, these are all naimittic. Now we have come to the third to last slide. There are two more after this. Naimittic dharma includes all these. Now pay attention. What is naimittic dharma? The superiority of a Brahman. I am Brahman. I am superior. Well, naimittic. Next life you may be a Shudra. Hare Krishna. There's Sandhya Vandan. That is also not an eternal activity. And their acceptance of sannyas after renouncing all of their karma. That is also naimittic. All these activities are highly recommended. Yes, they have a place. They are recommended in Dharma Shastras. And they are beneficial in consideration of the proper adhikar of the sadhak. Considering the eligibility of the sadhak. They have their place. They are helpful. They are beneficial. But still, they have no standing in relationship to nithya karma. And then Srila Vaishnav Babaji Maharaj in that Vidvat Sabha is quoting to Lahiri Sahib this beautiful verse from Srimad Bhagavatam 7.9.10. Vipradvishad gunayutadaravinda nabha padaravinda vimukhat swapacham varishtham manne tadarpita mano vachane hitartha pranam punati sakulam natu bhurimana. If a Brahman has all the 12 Brahminical qualities, Dvi Shad. Shad means 6. Dvi means twice. 6.2. 6 times 2 is 12. If a Brahman has all the 12 qualifications, as stated in the Shastra, like Sarat Suja, different qualities, truthfulness, purity, religiousness, austerity. But if that Brahman, in spite of having all the 12 Brahminical qualities, is not a devotee of Krishna and is averse to Krishna, who has got lotus feet. Padaravinda vimukhat, he is vimukh to Krishna, who has lotus feet. Pankajangri. Namaste Pankajangrai. Then such a Brahman is lower than a devotee who is a dog eater. Shopacham. Because this devotee has dedicated everything. Karmana manasavacha, has dedicated everything, mind, words, activities, wealth, life, to the Supreme Lord. Tad arpita mano vachanehi artha. Pranam. He has dedicated everything to Krishna. Oh, then such a devotee, even though maybe born in a Shopacha family, dog eater, Chandal family, he is superior to the Vipra, to the Brahman, who has 12 qualities. If the Brahman is Arvinda Nabha Padaravinda Vimukha, he is averse to Supreme Lord Krishna, who has lotus navel, Namah Pankajanabhaya, and who has lotus feet. Such a devotee is better than a Brahman, because this devotee who is Swapacha apparently, but because he is a devotee who has offered everything to Krishna, he is Sharanagat Bhakta, he can purify his whole family, whereas a so-called Brahman with 12 qualities in a position of false prestige cannot even purify himself. Hare Krishna. Whereas a devotee can punati sa kulam, can purify the whole dynasty. 21 generations were delivered of Prahlad Maharaj. And last slide, the purport is that, so what is the conclusion? What is the meaning of this? The purport is that, listen carefully, my dear friends, the purport is that a person who was born a Chandal, but who has been purified by the samskar impressions given through sadhu sangha. Remember, bhakti comes from the heart of a bhakta. So such a Chandal who has been given bhakti samskars, has been purified through bhakti samskar, like initiation, diksha, through sadhu sangha, and who is now engaged in the jiva's nithya dharma. Jiva Swarupa Krishna nithya das. This devotee is engaged in Krishna bhajan, pure spiritual cultivation, Vishuddha Chid Anushilan. He is superior to the Brahman who is established in Naimittik Dharma. Brahman is established in Naimittik Dharma, whereas the so-called Chandal is doing Nitya Dharma. So the devotee is superior because he abstains from Naimittik Dharma and does Nitya Dharma, whereas the Brahman, so-called Brahman, is practicing Naimittik Dharma, like Sandhya Vandan, of reciting prayers from the Vedic literature. He is performing Naimittik Karma. He is doing different pujas. He is doing Griha Pravesh. He is doing Upanayan Samskar for somebody. These are all Naimittik. So Brahman is established in Naimittik Dharma, but he is abstaining from Nitya Dharma. He is not doing Prem Nam Sankirtan. He is not doing unalloyed spiritual practice. So therefore, the jiva who is practicing Nitya Dharma, the bhakta, he is considered superior. So I will stop here. This is the message that Sri Vaishnava Babaji Maharaj is giving. And next week, on Monday, we will definitely conclude this chapter. So I will stop here. Thank you very much. It's very technical, no stories, no pastimes, but the Siddhanta that we are learning, this analytically understanding the superiority of bhakti, this is very useful for sadhakas. I was telling you, this very great devotee I know lives in Vrindavan, just engaged in serving the sadhus. Every day he chants for 6.5 hours, Hare Krishna Mahamantra, 64 rounds, 6.5 hours, every day. He's doing it since 1990, at least 1996, maybe before that also, but for sure from 1996 he's doing it. 16 rounds every day in Vrindavan, 64 rounds every day in Vrindavan. And he reads one chapter of Jaiva Dharma every day. And philosophically he's so clear. There's no confusion in his heart. We say in the Uttam Adhikari is one who has Shastra Yukti, who is complete, because Jaiva Dharma has got the essential verses of Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur has extracted the essence and given it to us. So, therefore, it is important that we study books like Jaiva Dharma, Shad Sandarbhas of Srila Jiva Goswami, the 11th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. One Acharya was saying that these books are like the Hajmola, digestive. We can hear all different leelas and they're very nice and sweet, but then we can get indigestion if we don't know the Tattva Siddhanta. Siddhanta Bulya na kare alas, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has said in Chaitanya Charitamrita. Don't be lazy to study Siddhanta, to study philosophy. So these philosophical lectures, philosophical books are very much required for us as sadhakas. So I congratulate 42 of you who who have tolerated me. So thank you for sticking around, and I pray that you benefit from this. Okay, so Amrit Gaurangi Mataji, please go ahead. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Dandavat pranam. All goes to Srila Prabhupada.
Jai
Prabhu,
Shri.
you might have told this, but I'm asking because I missed, Prabhu. So the chanting of Gayatri during Trisandhya time, is that Naimittika or Nithya? Because Harinam Smaran is Nithya Dharma. How about that, Prabhu?
Yes, so very good question. So here in Jaiva Dharma, the Sandhya Vandana that we are talking about, the chanting the Brahma Gayatri mantra, we are talking about the Smartha Brahmanas as they chant, not as we chant in our Gaudiya Sampradaya. Because we are chanting Brahma Gayatri mantra, meditating on the Brahma Gayatri mantra for us, our acharyas have explained, we are meditating on Radharani. That Brahma Jyoti is the effulgence of Radharani. So, and even if we take the meaning as Surya Narayan, we are meditating on Krishna only, who is manifesting as the sun god in this world. Brahma Samhita says sun and moon are the two eyes of Krishna. So like that. So we are meditating while chanting Brahma Gayatri also, we are meditating on the personal form of Radha and Krishna, not on some impersonal power called God. That is one. And Brahma Gayatri mantra that we're chanting, the personification of this mantra, the Adhishtatri Devi of this mantra, Gayatri Devi, she is a manifestation of Radharani. So for us, chanting Brahma Gayatri mantra is directly Radha Krishna Upasana. Then the Guru Bij mantra, Guru Gayatri mantra that we chant, we are directly praying to our Guru Maharaj, who is the eternal servant of Radha and Krishna in Golok Vrindavan. Then we chant the Gaur Bij mantra and the Gaur Gayatri mantra. These are mantras of Sri Gauranga Mahaprabhu, who is our Ishtadev. He is our Sampradaya Acharya. He is Radha and Krishna who has come in one form to teach us Raganuga Bhakti. So we are praying to our Gauranga Mahaprabhu. And then we have the Gopal mantra, which is mentioned in Brihad Bhagavatamrit. It's a Vedic mantra for attainment of pure devotion in Golok Vrindavan. And then Kam Gayatri mantra, which is a very specific mantra chanted by all our acharyas, mentioned in our Gaudiya literature, how Srila Kaviraj Goswami in Chaitanya Charitamrita has mentioned the Kam Gayatri mantra. And Srila Vishwanath Chakra Thakur has written about it, and all our acharyas have chanted the Kam Gayatri mantra. It is said that in Golok Vrindavan, Radharani's parrot, on both the wings, the Kam Gayatri mantra is written. So Kam Gayatri mantra is a special prayer to get Manjari Seva, to become a maid servant of Radharani. So these mantras that we chant, these are not the Sandhya Vandana that is being mentioned here. This is for Lahiri Sahib, who are the Smartha Brahmanas. They do it as superiority of a Brahman, not the way we chant. We are chanting it very specifically for Vraj Bhakti. So our chanting of Gayatri Mantra 3 times a day is pure devotion. It's the path of pure devotional service. Is that okay, Mataji?
Yes, Prabhu. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Kishori Radha Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much for your nice class today. Prabhu, I was wondering, like Shubha Karma that's expounded here by Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he is not encouraging us to perform Shubha Karma, although he says Shubha Karma is better than a karma in the karma. Unless it's done in Krishna consciousness or in bhakti, it's not encouraged. So I was wondering if you could speak, because I had heard that from pious action also anarthas can arise from past pious action. So, and so if we do Shubha Karma in this life, it should be in Krishna consciousness. Is that a correct understanding?
Yes, Mataji, and this will be explained more in detail in the subsequent chapter of Jaiva Dharma, where Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur talks about Sukrati and Bhakti Poshak Sukrati. Sukrati that leads to more material enjoyment, and Sukrati that leads to more Bhakti. So, for example, giving charity to a organization that is feeding the poor, that is Sukrati. It's a pious activity. but feeding Krishna Prasad with Harinam Sankirtan to the hungry people, like the food for life. There is Kirtan going on, there is distribution of Krishna Prasad to the indigent people. And that is Bhakti Poshak Sukriti, because we are distributing, we are participating in Harinam Sankirtan and we are distributing Krishna Prasad to people. So this is Bhakti Poshak Sukriti. This Sukriti will nourish our Bhakti. So Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur differentiates like that. And we should, yes, lean towards Bhakti Poshak Sukriti, not just mundane Sukriti, which will cause us to be bound in this world, because we'll have to enjoy the results of that pious activity, and we don't want to do that. That's a trap of Maya. And Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur also explains that you're right, this pious activities also are a type of impediment. And Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur in Jaiva Dharma will explain that in more detail in the subsequent chapters. So the important message from today's discussion about Naimittik Dharma and Nithya Dharma is this, my dear friends. We should never let Naimittik Dharma overshadow Nithya Dharma. For example, if there is and this is for devotees who have taken shelter. This is for devotees who are initiated. These are for devotees who consider their Gotra to be Achyut Gotra. All of us, our Gotra after initiation changes to Achyut Gotra. No longer we are Kashyap Gotra or Bharadwaj Gotra or Angiras Gotra. No. When in puja we are asked what is our Gotra is Achyut Gotra. We belong to the family of Krishna, Vaishnava family. So for those who are Sharanagat, I'm saying, don't misunderstand me, but those who have taken shelter in the Gaudiya Parampara of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, in the line of Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur Mahasaya, we should never let Naimittik Dharma overshadow Nithya Dharma. Nithya Dharma is worshipping our Radha Krishna, worshipping our Gaur Nitai, worshipping our Laddu Gopal, worshipping our Jagannath, Narsimhadev, Shaligram Shila, Govardhan Shila. This is our Nithya Dharma. These are the activities that go on in the spiritual world. Yashoda Rani bathes Krishna every day in Gaurav Vrindavan. Radha and Krishna bathe in Radha Kund and Sham Kund. Radha and Krishna bathe in Yamuna. So this doing Abhishek of Radha and Krishna, dressing them, these are all Manjari services. They are Nitya services. Chanting Harinam, reading Srimad Bhagavatam, serving the Vaishnavas, offering obeisances to Krishna, doing parikrama. So these are all eternal activities of the spiritual world. We should not let Naimittik considerations overshadow our Nitya Dharma. That was the message. For example, in ordinary circumstances, there's a death in the family. So there is Sutak. And they say, don't worship your deities. Are we going to follow that? Are we not going to cook for our Radha and Krishna, for our Gaurnita? Are we going to starve them? Are we going to say, I'm not going to worship it? Death is there. We are all dying every moment. There is death. There is Nitya Pralaya, according to 12th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. This body is made up of stool, urine, bile, disease, death. This body is going to fall dead one day. So we should not let Naimittik considerations overshadow Nitya Dharma. That was the message today. We should give priority to Nitya Dharma, which is the activity of the spiritual world. Is that okay, Kishori Radha Mataji?
Yes, Prabhu. Thank you so very much. I appreciate what you just said. Thank you.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Bhagavati Vasudha Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Dandavat Pranam.
Yes, Prabhuji. So first is few slides, the definition which we read for Nitya Dharma, actually we shouldn't take it. The final slides which actually speaks about the real Nitya Dharma, that is what we have to take it. Everything else falls under Naimittik Dharma.
Yes, Mata. Yes, Mata. Nitya Dharma means activity of the spiritual world, the activities of the soul in relationship to our eternal relationship with Krishna. The 64 limbs of bhakti. Those are Nitya activities. Bhajanera Madhya Shrestha Navavida Bhakti. Krishna Prema Krishna Dide Dhare Mahashakti. Those activities. Okay. Those are Nitya activities.
And sometimes Even sometimes Naimittika Dharma has to be taken important because it helps to do your Nithya Dharma. So that is where the Shiksha Guru and our intelligence will come into picture.
Yes, Nitya Dharma is the main. Naimittik Dharma is because of some nimitta. Something has happened, so we have to do it. It's not a Nitya Dharma. So Naimittik Dharma may be important and we don't reject it, but we reject it when it interferes or threatens to interfere with Nitya Dharma. Understood?
Yes.
And that's where the intelligence and guidance is required. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
As long as Naimittik Dharma is supporting our Nitya Dharma, we follow it. But when Naimittik Dharma threatens to overshadow our Nitya Dharma, we reject it. And Thakur Maharaj will tell that in the next chapter. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur will explain that. Okay? Hare Krishna. Divya Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare
I had a question about the Karma Yoga that Krishna talks about in Bhagavad Gita. Is that same as Bhakti Yoga? And today what we were discussing about karma, what category would that Karma Yoga fall in that Krishna talks about in Bhagavad Gita?
Same. So first there is Karma Kand, where we do some religious activities to increase our material opulence or our comforts and sense gratification. That's Karma Kand. For example, going to Visa Balaji in South India to get American visa. That is pure Karma Kand. You are doing some puja to get some material benefit. But higher than that is what is mentioned in Jaiva Dharma today and in Bhagavad Gita, and that is Nishkam Karma Yoga, where you perform Karma Yoga, offering the results to Krishna without expecting anything. And that comes under the category of Bhakti. How much of that karma is for Krishna's pleasure, that will determine how pure that Bhakti is. Bhakti has got different gradations. So one level can be Yat karoshi yad ashnashi yad juhosi dadasya yat pasyasya kaunte tat kurusha madarpanam. Whatever you do, whatever you eat, whatever charity, you do it for Krishna. That is one level. But in Raya Ramananda Samvad, in the Madhya Lila of Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu rejects this. He says there is no bhakti in this verse. What is yat karoshi? Whatever. So whatever job you are doing, you just give some donation to Krishna. So that is not even bhakti. That's okay on one level. It is karma yoga, no doubt. But Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is teaching Rag Bhakti, he rejects it. But he accepts Patram Pushpam Phalam Toyam. Yume bhaktya prayashati. Tadam bhakti rupratam ashnam uparayat. Because the word bhakti is there. So one level is whatever you are doing, you do it for, you offer some, you are a pilot, you are a doctor, you are an engineer, you are a lawyer, whatever you are, you are a businessman, okay, you give your profit to Krishna, donate. That is some amount of karma yoga in that. Yes, that is karma yoga. But then there is Nishkam Karma Yoga, which comes at a higher level, where you do things without expecting anything for yourself for Samsiddhir Haritoshanam, to please Krishna. Krishna says, Patram Pushpam Phalam Toyam. So I will not offer things that Krishna doesn't like. I will offer things that Krishna likes. That is bhakti. Okay? That is higher. So it depends which level of karma yoga it is. But yes, the same karma yoga is there in Jaiva Dharma, and Bhagavad Gita has been talked about, and that is Nishkam Karma Yoga. And yes, it comes under the purview of bhakti. But higher than that is Uttama Bhakti, which is Anya Bhilashita Shunya, Jnana, Karma, Adi, Anavratam, uncovered by karma yoga, uncovered by Jnana yoga. And is only Anukulyana Krishna Anushilanam, Bhakti Uttam. That is a Vishuddha Chid Anushilan that we were reading today. Completely doing only something that will please Krishna, as Krishna wants it. That is pure bhakti. Okay, Mataji? Last question, Prahladananda Prabhu. It's very late, so I'll try to be very...
Pranam Prabhuji, I'll not take long.
Correct.
Thank you very much for clearing this nithya and naimittik. These are kind of confusing, but you made it very clear today. But about this, Bhagavan Krishna says in 18.5, Yagnadan tapah karmana tyajyam karimevtat, Yagnodanam tapasyeva pavnani manisha. So these three things we can put in the service of Lord Shri Krishna, like, doing yagna, sankirtan yagna, and dan, I regularly donate to TOVP, what's the last like that. And tapa, those regulatory principles and all this. So these, when we are directed towards bhakti, then they are nithya dharma, right?
Yes, if we are doing it for Krishna's satisfaction, haritoshanam, then it is nitya karma. Then it comes under the purview of bhakti. Bhakti is nitya.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So this was really, clarification, because I do this and sometimes I think that, maybe this is, sometimes, when we travel highways and take exit, there are people who ask for donations and money like that, So I usually donate some money, but I give them a small book, Prabhupada's small book, like Perfect Question. These are kind of destitute people, but they still read and they can, like that. So would that affect in any way, will be, but this is directed to Krishna's bhakti, so it will not be just like a punya karma. This is bhakti unmukha sukriti, right?
So if you give them money, then they may use it to buy drugs.
Oh my.
Or, they may go to a McDonald's and get a hamburger, which is beef. So then it is laws of karma are tricky. Better would be to give them something vegetarian or give them prasad and just say, Hare Krishna, God bless you, and give them some prasad to eat. That's what I do.
You do at the exits, probably like that?
At the exit, at the road sign, traffic signals. So because in Atlanta downtown, there are many homeless people. So we keep either something vegetarian or some prasad in the car and I offer them. And many times they see, oh, I give them some packet of dry fruits and they don't want, they say, oh, I don't have teeth. I don't want it. Then I give them some juice or something and just say, Hare Krishna, God bless you. So what happens is they have heard Krishna Nam, and that is their Bhakti Poshak Sukriti. They heard Krishna Nam. They didn't even realize what I said. They will probably say, I said something like hello, hi. But I say loudly, Hare Krishna, God bless you. And they appreciate that, God bless you. And they say, God bless you too, thank you. So we are giving them Krishna Prasad. They cannot sin with that. And they got to hear Krishna Nam. So we gave them Krishna. So that is better than giving them money.
Give the money, yes.
Because
I think I should
money, they can misuse it. And then you are at a risk of getting implicated. Even though your desire is pure, you want to help them. So Krishna will definitely consider that. But I have heard from senior devotees that it is better not to give them money because they will misuse it. Because we are then simply helping them continuing their alcohol addiction and drug addiction. Isn't it?
That's true. Yeah.
So better to
I think I should start giving some fruits.
Give some Krishna Prasad.
Yes.
Or so that way you're doing charity also. And you're feeding them and just say, Hare Krishna, God bless you.
Yeah, that's right.
Like that. Okay, Prabhu?
Okay, thank you very much, Prabhuji. Thank you very much for
Hare Krishna. Last question, Janeshwar Gauranga, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Thank you for the class. Prabhuji, just following up on the Prabhuji you just mentioned about giving donation to, let's say, the temple or TOVP. Now, devotional service should be done only for the pleasure of Krishna. But sometimes, for example, I give a donation, and there is a selfish motive that you want to make spiritual progress. So it is for the pleasure of Krishna, but you also have a motive that you want to make spiritual progress. So is that considered naimistic, or because it's you still have that vested interest in that? So how is that?
No, that is okay, Prabhuji, because your desire is that I want to make progress in Krishna consciousness. I want to come closer to Krishna by this. So your desire is pure. So that is not naimittic. It will come under nithya karma because you are giving charity to get Krishna. Like the Vraj Gopis, they performed Katyayani Vrat. And their desire was we come closer to Krishna. We get Krishna as our husband. So if we have a desire to attain eternal service to Radha and Krishna, and for that we are donating to a temple, we are donating to TOVP, whichever project in ISKCON is close to our heart, then that will come under the purview of bhakti. So it's good. Okay.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much, dear devotees. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Nithya Gaur Hari Bol. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.